This is a ZZ plant that I've had now for about 2 years, and I've been able to get it to this point with a little care and attention, and the top 7 care tips that I'm going to share with you in this video. These tips are what has worked for me and will not only keep you from killing this beautiful succulent, but will teach you how to get it to thrive, along with tons of details along the way that you didn't know you needed to know. So make sure you watch until the end. The tips throughout this video will help save you time, money, and most importantly, help you to get your ZZ plant to thrive. So let's get started, and I'll walk you through what I look for when choosing the perfect ZZ plant at the garden center. We're looking for a Raven ZZ plant, known for its darker black foliage when compared to the original ZZ plant, which has green foliage. Selecting a healthy ZZ plant requires a bit of careful inspection. Start by observing the overall appearance of the plant. Look for vibrant, glossy leaves that feel firm and waxy to the touch. These signs indicate that the plant is well hydrated and thriving. And avoid plants with yellowing, limp, or wrinkled leaves, as these could be signs of overwatering, underwatering, or stress. Also, take some time and look at the stems, known as petioles, and they should be upright and firm. Soft bending or drooping stems might indicate rot or stress. On the other hand, shorter stems with thick leaves are a sign of a well cared for plant, and that's what you're looking for if you want to make your job easier. When you're done with this, then check for pests by examining both the tops and the undersides of the leaves for any signs of them. Look for any sticky, colorless residues on the leaves, sooty mold, and even any specks or holes in the leaves. If you spot any of these that don't look like what could be mechanical damage, then avoid that plant. And lastly, let's look at the soil. Feel it. The soil should be slightly dry to the touch and not soggy. Overwatering is a common issue with ZZ plants, and the garden centers don't always water them as they should. So pay special attention to that, as damp, compacted soil could mean root rot. A healthy plant will be potted in a well-draining soil mix, most of the time blended with perlite or coarse sand. So as long as we're looking at the soil, let's take a look at the roots. Healthy roots should be pale and firm, and if they're brown or mushy, it could mean root rot, which is a red flag, and you want to stay away from that plant. Now let's go to the top of the root ball. If you see any of these are good, and I'll explain them and their purpose later in the video, so keep watching. So once you find the one you want and get it home, you're going to want to find that perfect spot for them. So let me go into exactly what you need to look for to get your ZZ plant to thrive. Ideally, ZZ plants prefer bright, indirect light. A perfect spot is near a window that receives 12 hours of indirect sunlight, or you can place them under grow lights. If you decide to go with natural lighting, be realistic. Not every home has ideal lighting conditions all year round, so you may have to supplement with grow lights. I've personally found success keeping my ZZ plants under grow lights, while they also receive some supplemental light from a south-facing window. And over the years, this setup has allowed my plants, including my prized Raven ZZ with its stunning dark green foliage, to thrive. This lighting is also what I've used for propagation when I do stem cuttings, leaf cuttings, and divisions. Like this one here I propagated about a year ago from one division, and it's up to 2 additional plants popping out. They take a while, but you'll get the joy and satisfaction watching them grow. At least I do, and if you're watching this video, I'm sure you will too. So while bright light is ideal, and really what you want to get them growing to their maximum capacity, one of the best things about ZZ plants is their adaptability and that they can tolerate lower light conditions. Even though there are some trade-offs like slower growth, thinner stems, and leggier spindly foliage. Now, if low light is your only option, the plant, it'll still survive. Just know that it won't flourish as it would in brighter conditions. So as I recommended earlier, use grow lights to supplement, especially during the winter months, which if you're relying on natural light alone, it won't be as available and your ZZ plant could suffer because of this. So in terms of temperature and humidity, ZZ plants thrive in the average conditions of most homes, as long as the environment is consistent and avoids extremes. They just don't tolerate frost or cold drafts, so keep them away from air conditioning vents or open windows in the winter. Okay, so now let's get into watering, a common challenge for a lot of ZZ plant owners. Overwatering is one of the main reasons ZZ plants struggle or even die, as it often leads to root rot. These plants, as we noticed earlier, are equipped with these things called rhizomes. These potato-like root things store water, making them drought tolerant and capable of thriving with less frequent watering. And because of these rhizomes, it's crucial to let the soil dry out completely between waterings. In average indoor conditions, this typically means watering once every 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes even longer. I personally look at mine every 4 weeks, and if they're dry, which by then they usually are, except during the winter months, I water them. If they're not, I wait another 2 weeks and then I check again. To check how moist the soil is, you can use a wooden dowel or a moisture meter. If it's dry all the way through or 100% dry, then it's time to water. And as with a lot of my plant care tips, my watering method is pretty straightforward. I prefer a combination of top and bottom watering for complete soil saturation. And here's how I do it. I place the plant in a bowl, water the soil from the top until it starts to pool in the bowl, and then let it sit for about 5 minutes. This is faster than the usual 10 to 15 minutes required if you only bottom water. Finally, I remove the plant from the bowl and I drain any excess water from the pot. And this method not only ensures even hydration throughout the root ball, but it also helps prevent issues like fungus gnats. This method is also useful for other types of plants since the topsoil dries faster while the soil lower in the pot remains moist for longer periods of time. When it comes to fertilizing your ZZ plants, again, let's keep it simple. These plants have relatively low nutrient requirements, and over-fertilizing them can actually do more harm than good. My go-to approach is to feed them a balanced general-purpose houseplant fertilizer containing both macro and micronutrients at half the recommended rate every month during the active growing season. As the plant's growth slows, I reduce the fertilizer to 25% strength. I live in Florida, and this is my regimen since my ZZ plants grow pretty much year-round. If you're in a cooler climate, I recommend skipping fertilization altogether during the dormant months since the plants really will slow down during this time. To prevent fertilizer buildup, it's a good idea to leach the soil on a regular basis. Every 3 to 4 waterings by placing the plant in the shower or sink or taking it outside and with a hose, flush the soil thoroughly with water. This will help remove any excess salts that might accumulate from fertilizer or tap water, protecting the roots and ensuring healthy growth. Now let's talk pruning. One of the nice things about ZZ plants is that they require very little of it. Occasionally you'll need to remove yellowing or dead leaves using clean sharp scissors or pruning shears, which will help to maintain both the plant's health and its neat appearance. Unlike other houseplants such as pothos or rubber plants, which may need regular trimming to maintain their shape and encourage a bushier look, ZZ plants naturally grow fuller as new shoots emerge from the soil. These new stems then develop on their own, creating a beautiful, lush appearance without much of your help. Also, to keep your ZZ plant looking its best, periodically wipe down their sturdy, glossy leaves with a damp microfiber cloth. This not only enhances their natural shine, but also removes dust buildup, improving the plant's ability to photosynthesize effectively. Now that you know how to care for your plant and how to get it to grow, what do you do when it outgrows its pot and needs a new one? We repot it. But we have to keep in mind something special that this plant has. Yep, you guessed it, rhizomes. Because these rhizomes help the plant retain water, it's critical, super critical, that we use a well-draining soil mix to avoid excess water that could lead to root rot. So what's the best soil mix for a ZZ plant? You can keep it simple by using a pre-made succulent or cactus mix and then watering accordingly when the soil is 100% dry. Or if you'd prefer to customize, try combining components like coir or peat for water retention with equal parts of pine bark, perlite, and a little sand for excellent drainage and aeration. Always ensure that your pot has drainage holes to prevent water from collecting at the bottom, and be sure to choose a pot that's just one size larger than the current one. Using a pot that's too big means there's excess soil that'll retain more water than the roots can absorb. Now, just because you know how to do it, don't go crazy repotting your ZZ. And why, you ask? Typically, they only need to be repotted every 2 to 3 years. So make sure your plant is really pot bound, sometimes even warping the pot, or even to the point where you see very little soil in the root ball. As I mentioned earlier, when it comes to pest, ZZ plants are fairly pest resistant. They're easygoing, though you might occasionally spot mealybugs. And I can tell you I know this from experience. During a recent mealybug outbreak I had on my other plants, I didn't find any mealybugs on my ZZs. Still, pests can happen, and if you encounter them, try soaking the plant with an insecticidal soap solution or spraying it thoroughly, then rinsing it off and applying a systemic insecticide to the soil. If the first time you spray them down they come back, try again. Keep trying, it could take several attempts. They're tough. Now that you've got my secret recipe to keeping your ZZ plant healthy, you might feel inspired to propagate them. and share the joy with friends and family. If you're ready to dive into propagation, check out the next video for a step-by-step guide on 5 different methods to propagate ZZ plants and expand your collection.